It's for you.
Right.
You're not working to make somebody else money. You're making to make yourself money, to protect your family, to leave a legacy, to get more freedom, more comfort, more financial flexibility. And that's the big shift, I think, from corporate America to entrepreneur life is that. Like, It's on you. If you don't work, you don't make money. All boots, no BS. Episode 1. I'm Chance Weber. This is
Kenny Bilcherman.
That's nice how you say your last name.
Pretty damn official.
I like that. We don't know what we're doing, guys. We're going to figure this shit out on the run and talk about some shit. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about what's working, what's not working, all the problems going on in the world, all the problems going on in business, challenges, you name it. Everything is no BS here, right? No fluffy shit. I'm a marketer in the most fluffy industry in the world. So we're going to do everything we can to stay away from that stuff. But yeah, let's kick it off with that. So, what's new with you?
Well,
in the business world. Well, it could be personally too.
Yeah. Well, in business, I'm in real estate and primarily self-storage and commercial real estate. And I got a couple deals that, one I'm developing, which has been challenging.
But these are mostly storage facilities.
Yeah, mostly
storage. Do you have
storage.
anything that's not a storage facility?
I'm under contract on some industrial buildings, some flex space type, which is new to me. You know, it's a new experience.
What are you going to do in a flex space? What's a flex space? It's flexible to do what you want?
Basically, there's a shell, and then there's demising walls that you can kind of move based on the size of the business owner that wants to rent it. So you know, there's some walls that are in place now, some walls that are not in place. So you can kind of grow with the size of the business. So that way, if you have 4,000 square feet and a tenant only needs 2, you can put up a demising wall. Or if you got 2,000 square foot units, you can maybe take down a wall. That's what they call flex space.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
The unofficial answer.
Unofficial answer. So you got a couple deals under contract?
One under contract, and a couple other ones under contract that I'm going to be assigning the contract and kind of pushing some paper and making a little bit of money on that way. That I uncovered, I found, I sourced, that other buyers are going to take down and pay me as like a finder's fee, basically.
So you do one of two things in the storage world. You buy storage facilities. Your kind of MO, correct me if I'm wrong, is you'll buy a mom and pop middle of nowhere storage facility a lot of times that's underrun, old school, people are paying cash, checks, like nothing modernized, don't even hardly have a website. You'll go in and buy that at an evaluation that works for you, at evaluation, I guess is the proper word, that works for you, and then you revamp it, right? So you bring in specific software, specific websites that make it much easier for the consumer to use. You might expand it, you might fix it up, and then you kind of slowly raise the rates to increase your profit margins after, we'll say, not rehabbing it physically, but just kind of overhauling the business and make it more efficient. That's like your long-term holds, right?
Yep.
And then you also do some, what I would call like flips. I'm not a real estate guy, right? Well, you're like source a deal, maybe even buy it, and then sell it before you even rebuild it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, some of them you can buy, operate it for a short period of time, extract that value and sell them off, or get it under contract and then find another buyer and get a little fee for finding it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I feel like this could be a whole episode just in itself of how do you know, how do you choose what to hold? How do you choose, I'm assuming cash flow is a big piece of holding and where you bought it and your equity in it compared to flipping something or deciding, hey, I've had this for a couple years. I've taken the net margin from here to here. Now I'm going to sell it, right? I'm sure there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this might be selfish, but I want the most amount of cash flow for the least amount of work. So,
dude, I don't think that's selfish at all. I think that's good business.
Yeah, so I always, if there's a property that I like, it's generally going to be one that's going to cash flow well, but isn't like a ton of work to make it happen. But there's other ones that are a little bit smaller, still good deals, but it just doesn't fit my buy box right now.
Buy box, I like that.
Yeah. So
is the buy box a moving part? Does your buy box look different now than it did a year and a half ago?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's certain size deals that I want, certain like cash flow metrics, return metrics, and that is completely different for anyone. Geographically, buy box is different. I probably want to buy something out in like California now, just because, too far for me to travel. I'm trying to focus around the house. So. Right. long story short, I got, these industrial buildings will be more long-term holds. They're close to my house. They're larger, more of like a legacy asset. The seller is going to carry back a note on those, which is attractive at, below market interest rates.
Yeah.
And it's a similar story as the storage. Below market rents come in as leases renew, slowly bump them up to market and increase the value and NOI and the cash flow on the deal. So that's more of a longer term hold, and these other facilities are more just like what you call as a flip, just like a little bit of a finder's fee.
Makes sense. And just so anybody would know listening, you're not, we call you the storage king.
Yeah.
But you've really only been doing this, full time for a year and a half, close to something like that. But you started acquiring some facilities before you retired from your luxurious, how many years were you at Bank of America?
20.
20 years at Bank of America. So, and now you're a free man, right?
Pretty much.
Which is had its challenges too, that I'm sure we're going to talk about here as we continue to film more shows and whatnot. But yeah, man. Well, that's exciting. So wins that you got on the table, or you got two deals under contract?
Yep.
Just waiting to close and.
Yeah, one's a long-term hold, and the other one's more of a short kind of flip, as you.
Where are they at?
Missouri.
Where
One's
at?
in Missouri, one's in Illinois.
Where at Missouri?
St. Louis area.
Oh, one's here?
And then the other one's in southern Illinois.
Carbondale?
Close-ish.
Where is it?
Near Marion, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, that's right down the road from Carbondale.
Is that what you call it?
That's what I call it.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
if you went to SIU, you call it Carbondale.
Yeah.
At least
so
I do.
that's, That's kind of what I got going on. What about you?
Dude, I'm in business. They talk about like seasons, like summer, spring, fall, and winter. Like winter being a shitty time. Like I am in winter right now, and I feel like I've been stuck in winter. Just a lot. So we're building a lot. So I'm launching a fully automated. To my knowledge, it's the first fully automated like AI agency in existence. Like, and when I say automated, I mean autonomous. So, for example, people use AI to generate blogs or generate content, and then they'll copy and paste it out of, let's say, ChatGPT, and they'll go post it on their website. Well, that's shit output, and we can talk about that more at another time. But what I'm building is like a fully autonomous AI platform that would do that whole entire process with the push of a button. Okay. So you literally would go into our dashboard, you'd push a button, it would, it's like 8 different workflows that get to this, where it would generate blog topic ideas that are relevant to the business, then it would script an outline, then it would write the piece of content, then it would edit the piece of content, put in all the SEO attributes that we would need, and then it would actually publish it to your website's blog, just with the push of a button. So it's been something, man, that I started working on really back in November of 24. So it's been a long, long road. And it's an exciting, when I say winter, that's like been the winter. But now we're kind of in our final testing rounds. Literally later today, my COO and I are going to be sitting down doing like final, like I think we're there. Mm-hmm. So it's super exciting to like get through this final step and see a vision become a reality, right? Which is really where the hard part begins, because I don't know how well this shit's gonna work. Our tests look really good, but we're gonna have to run these plays and get like real life feedback from real business owners. And the focus of it's really on home services, like contractors, HVAC, electricians, plumbers, things like that. So the focus of it is going to be there, but we've got to go run the play. So I've got about 150 clients, and we're going to start slow rolling it into some of our clients with their permission, so they understand what's going on. There could be errors and things of that nature. And then once we really get like a finely oiled machine, we're going to take it live and start to actually market and sell it.
So just so our audience knows, you own a marketing company, right?
Yeah, man. I'm in year 14 in the digital marketing space.
Okay.
So been doing this a long time. When you're an entrepreneur for 14 years, I would love to know how many years that's taken off my life.
You're not gray yet, so.
Dude, they're coming in everywhere. I mean, they're here.
That's what Just for Men is for.
Yeah, dude, I've got to dude, I see him right here, and I get the awkward. I get like the awkward gray hairs. Like I wanted to, you got more of like on the sides, a nice
Silver,
blend.
like a silver fox.
Yeah, like yours is blended. Mine's just like weird shit. So I'm ready to embrace it or get rid of it. But yeah, 14 years, multi-million-dollar company that I built from scratch, $15,000 loan from my parents.
Nice.
And yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. I love what I do. Like I feel like there's so many people that they get into business because they see the potential to make money and being an entrepreneur, but they don't have any clue or concept of the hell that you go through to do that on a daily basis. I say all the time, like in entrepreneurship, man, like you've got to get really comfortable with having way more shitty days than good days.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know in your world what it looks like, but in my world, it's probably like 15 to 1, you know? And a lot of people aren't wired to handle 15 shit-ass days for one good day. Mm-hmm. And, you know, all the things that come with it, it never stops. Like, I never stop working. You know, we've got phones these days that are literally computers, right? So, like this morning, I was up at 3:30, and I was working by 4 o'clock. And I worked from like 4 to 6:30 before I got in the shower to start my day. Like I had 2.5 hours of work in this morning before most people even wake up. And I'm, you know, it's not always a good thing, but it's what I signed up for. That's what I always remind myself. Like, you signed up for this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but it's rewarding and you enjoy the process. Like, you got to fall in love with the process, fall in love with the journey, and then see what you're building come to fruition. It's like a drug. Once you hit that a few times, like it's...
Well, I just think back to even like you and I hunting back when you were in corporate America. Before you became the storage king, you were the banker, right?
All right, I'll take the storage king title.
The banker, it was like, hey, we want to go hunting, and it's like, I only have so many paid time off. And I'm just like, dude. Now, I mean, we both are married with kids, but now you do have that freedom where you can, and that is to me like. So many people chase the money, and the money. I am a material-driven guy. I'm in the middle of building a $300,000 Hummer right now that I need a bullet in the head.
Damn.
But
you might have to tell us about that more at another time.
I can. But
you know, you could build one for that much.
Oh, just wait till you see it. But I do love materialistic shit. I do love nice things. I do love vacations. I do love Rolexes. I do like nice things, but the freedom of entrepreneurship. To me is truly what it's about. Like that is what it's about. I can go do whatever I want. I have a business and a team where this company can 95% run on itself. My goal is to get it to 100, but right now it's truly 95% by itself. I could go to Europe for 2 months right now and we would be perfectly fine. I'm trying to get to the point where I could go to Europe for 2 years. Right. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't actually do that, but I'm close, you know? But I think that's a part of entrepreneurship that not many people talk about, but somebody that was spent 20 years in the corporate world, you get it.
Yeah. I mean, well, you said it. You're like, two things. Your company can run 95% on its own, but you're up at 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
Like, so that's that either the drug or the addiction or just the need and desire to like go for more and what's out there, what's possible. So you probably like, oh, although I'm successful, I still know there's more out there, whether it's me personally or in my business that I want to chase. Like
for sure.
You just said it. Your company's doing well now. You probably have people doing what you just mentioned your AI build out. They're doing it today. You'd probably be okay for like the next couple years till things change. But you're investing. You're going through winter right now, and you're spending all this money. So why get up at 4:30? Why put all this money in AI?
I don't know any other way.
You know,
I don't know any other way. And I think that's why so many people, complacency, first of all, for what you were saying, complacency is an absolute killer. When you've been in business for 14 years, I have no questions asked. I can look back on a whole year that in my mind I took off. Mm-hmm. Now, my P&L might have went up. We might have done more in sales from the previous year, more margin than the previous year. But I could look back at the year and go, dude, you coasted. Mm-hmm. You were a bitch. For a whole year. Like, dude, you coasted. You got comfortable.
Right.
I do very well. I make a lot of money, especially in accordance to society's eyes. And it's dangerous because, like we've talked about before, nobody makes me get up and shower and go to work at a certain time. You have to build those disciplines in for yourself.
Right.
And also know that, like today, we're recording a lot of content. So I had to get up and start working this morning for 2.5 hours because we're going to blow a few hours a day doing this.
Yeah.
And this is fun, but I have an actual business to run, right? So it's just getting that mindset around having to, put yourself in positions to be successful. But the other part of what you were saying is, wait, what was the other part we were talking about? We were talking about, I want to talk about complacency and the discipline, the self-discipline that you have to have.
Yeah, like, for me personally, like, I left corporate America. The weight is off your shoulders, but I find myself working harder now. It may not be consecutive, clock in at 8, I'm out at 5, but like you said, I'll wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, or I'll be, sometimes I'm bad about this around family, check your phone or something. You're kind of always on stage. So I find myself working harder now than I kind of did then.
But what's the difference?
It's on my terms, right?
And it's for you.
Right.
You're not making Bank of America stockholders money.
Right.
You don't even know that how many times you meet the CEO of Bank of America?
Never.
Exactly. You worked there for 20 years. You never met the guy or gal, whoever the hell it is, right? Now everything you do is true input equals output.
Right.
It's for you.
Right.
You're not working to make somebody else money. You're making to make yourself money, to protect your family, to leave a legacy, to get more freedom, more comfort, more financial flexibility. And that's the big shift, I think, from corporate America to entrepreneur life is that. Like, It's on you. If you don't work, you don't make money.
Yeah, I think everyone, and I experienced this, like when I first left, is like, what do you do? Like, how do you design your day, week, month? What does that look like? What's a successful day look like? And then when you have the bad days or you go through the rut, it's like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and grinding it out, right?
It's dude, those days, and they never stop.
Right.
I call them curveballs. Those days, it's just like, I'll have a whole day of meetings, and next thing you know, it's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm like texting my assistant Brooke, and I'm like, you got to wipe the whole day.
Yeah.
Because this fire came up that I got to put out. I didn't get this done when I needed to in this timeline, and we got to scrap out 4 hours today so I can get caught up. I got a million things going on. It happens, but dude, my stepdad, Big Chuck, who you met before, I don't know how long my mom and Chuck have been married now, 20 plus years. But he said something to me when I started my company. He said, attitude is everything. Like, attitude is everything.
I like that.
So, and at the time, I was 29 years old, and I was like, okay, old timer, probably in one ear, out the other. But I have never forgot that. He told me that probably 15 years ago now. And I remind myself that all the time. I'm like, dude, you can let this crush you, or you can let it to fuel your fire in whatever way. Whether it's, I go to the dark side a lot. Like, if something doesn't go my way or pisses me off, or I feel like somebody did me wrong or something bad happens, like, I use it to make me mad. I channel that anger to kind of the F you, watch. Watch what I do.
Yeah.
You're not going to win. And it's not always a person. It's a situation. The situation's not going to win. F you, watch. I'm not going to let this kick my ass. Cash flow's down. This is a horrible spot.
Right.
I remember when banks wouldn't give me a loan. Now I get calls and emails from banks that I've never worked with all the time that want to loan me money. But, you go through all those different stages and periods of life where it's like, not life, but in business, where you hit this shit and it's just like, you have a choice. You're at a crossroads. You can go right or left. Every single time. I actually put a post on social media this morning that said, remember to always take your emotion out of business. And that's the truth. Like, when you got to make tough decisions, you got to remove the emotion. But there is a way to use emotion as a power. And that's what I do, dude. I get pissed. I get pissed, and I'm like, not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to let you win. I'm not, the situation, whatever it is, I get mad.
Yeah.
I attack it.
I think you come across enough either, I don't really call them setbacks, but challenges or, things that piss you off, or like, man, I just can't take another punch right now. Once you build up that callus, like, I want to say you're unbreakable, but pretty much like over time, like that compounds on each other, like being consistent and just consistently coming through on the other side, above and beyond. Like, in the moment, you're like, oh man, I'm never going to pull out of this. And there's times where I'm like, if I can just get through the next 24 hours, I'll be good. Like say, you got a tough day coming up. Like once you get on the other
suck
side
it
of
up.
that, yeah.
Dig your toes in and let's go. Dig your feet in, dig your toes in, whatever the saying is.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I completely agree. It's there's a reason, I don't know what the statistic is, but 96%, whatever the hell it is, of small businesses fail. Because people have a concept and idea of what they're going to do, but they have no clue what it takes. All that people see is the highlight reel, the $300,000 Hummer, lake house and boats, all the shit that I've had. And it's like, oh, they just see that shit. Dude, you have no clue of what it looked like to get to that point to have those things.
Behind the scenes. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, yeah. So we talked about some wins and losses. We talked about some wins you had. Did you have any losses recently? Like something that sucked? Have you got your teeth kicked in lately?
I think for me sometimes it's, I'll just be transparent with the audiences. I got a cash flow coming in from my deals that, if I probably didn't do another transaction, we'd be okay, right? I always want to continue to grow.
Yeah.
I think the challenge.
When you say that, your cash flow supporting your family, your lifestyle.
The lifestyle. Like
Yep.
we're comfortable, right?
Yeah,
Where we're at based on the cash flow. And I got people, processes, and systems in place that handle some of the day-to-day operations. And my role is mainly acquisitions and kind of overseeing the company. And a little bit on the marketing side. Not very good at that, but I tried to do a few things. But anyway,
I'm going to help you.
There you go. Love it. I know a guy, right?
Yeah.
So the challenge is sometimes is like, if you had, whether you won the lottery, you got enough cash flow coming in, staying disciplined every single day versus like, hey, I don't have to log in and make phone calls to business owners today on acquisitions. Like, I got a couple of VAs working for me. They're sending me leads. Like I could do nothing with the leads, or I can grind it out and work on my computer. Like yesterday was a day like, it was coming off the weekend. It was nice outside. Yep. I was like, maybe I could go outside and do something.
But you can.
The challenge that we're saying is, I could, right, is just allowing yourself to be free and go do that for a day, or staying disciplined and going in the job. So that's like, you go through those times where like, do you just take the day off or whatever you do, or do you continue to grind? And I pride myself as I continue to grind because I enjoy it. And if I don't do it, I feel bad. I feel like there's something missing. You're right. There's always like that piece inside is like, I'm not really connecting the dots today.
Yeah, you don't feel, and I think that's because you're wired the right way.
Right.
This is why I've pushed you for so long to take this leap, because I knew you were wired that way.
I should have did it years ago, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I should have never went to college and started a company 18. I probably would have flopped it. But by the time I would have been 25, I would have had 7 years under my belt, and I would have been indestructible, right? What are you going to do? It's life. It provided for your family for a long time, right?
Yep.
So there could be worse things in the world. It's not like you were at Bank of America making $50,000 a year, living a miserable life. Like you did well.
Yeah.
Big loss for me recently is just cash flow. Like this build that I'm building is basically going to end up being between $500,000 and $1 million cash. And it just, dude, it's hard. Like, I'm blessed to have the money. Like, I'm doing it with my capital, not loans. But it's like I'm putting my family's legacy into this. Like, I'm betting on myself.
Yeah.
Like put up or shut up, all in. Like, there is no plan B at this point. But, you talked about building a callus. I always use the term of scar tissue. Like, the more hard times you've been through, the easier they are to actually navigate. They're never easy, but you get that scar tissue build up, and it's like, I can do this. And right now, like, it's a mix of scar tissue and probably a little bit of ego in a bad way, maybe a good way, I don't know, but like, I'm taking a hell of a risk right now. So that part is scary. But dude, nobody has ever scaled a business by sitting on their hands.
Well, let me rephrase it. So you're spending the money, but it's not like you have 5 times that in your bank account, and this is just a little bit of cash that you can really operate in. If you lose it, no problem. This is like, hey, I got to make this work. Yeah. I'm going into like, I want to say uncharted, like risky territory, like taking a big leap. I want to say you're, burning all the ships, but in so many words, you're kind of going to that territory, knowing, betting on yourself, betting on your product, and betting on the outcome that it's going to pay you back dividends down the road.
Yeah, it's not 100% of my cash, but it's a way higher percentage than I want to admit. I can tell you that. Like, and it's Dude, it's scary. Like, and the things that go with that preparation, right? So I have lines of credit of about $500,000. Yesterday, QuickBooks, Intuit, my bookkeeping, I got an offer from them, and they've been sending this to me for years. Hey, $100,000 line of credit, you're pre-approved. And I was like, I've just been deleting. I don't need it. I'm not even using the other lines I have right now. But I was like, you know what? I don't know where the fuck I'm going. And I don't know how bad this could get. I don't know how dangerous this could be. I don't know if what I'm rolling the dice on could just absolutely blow up in my face. So you know what? That extra $100,000, that covers my lifestyle for a couple months.
Right.
I'm going to go get it. So I did. I applied and I was approved in like 5 minutes. And by the way, if you ever start to get in this line of credit thing, you got to make sure you use them and then pay them back. The banks don't like it. You're a little banker.
Hey, I know all about
the banks don't like it when you let them sit there. I had one bank close one down. I'm like, I didn't do anything. And they're like,
exactly.
Yeah, well, I got some bullshit excuse. So yeah, like I'm probably going to pull 20 grand out of it, whatever this week and let it sit there and pay it back over, a couple months, do their minimum payment thing or whatever, and then I'll just pay it off in full just so they can see that I can do it, But obviously they have access to all my bank accounts and everything. They know where my cash flow is at. Otherwise I wouldn't approve you. But yeah, man, you got to think differently. I'm having to push myself into thinking in ways and protecting myself and my family like I never have before because of the risk, because of it.
So obviously spending all that money building this out, there's probably a period of time where you had the idea, but you didn't act on it, right?
Yeah.
And I know for me, when I was in corporate America, 10 years before I left, I wanted to always...
When you were jiggling the mouse?
Right. I wanted to leave and do something else, but I never acted on it. And
Wait, no, hold on. You got to tell anybody watching this show what jiggling the mouse means. Because this was an ongoing joke for years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, so...
Dude, Bank of America HR is not going to come after you. Everything's okay. We're here to be, right? Like, no BS. What was jiggling the mouse in corporate America?
Just... There was a timer sometimes on your computer, and you had to move it every so often, and so it would keep you green or whatever.
Oh, you got to show the bank you're working.
I didn't do that, but there were stories of other people doing it.
Fuck, you didn't. You jiggled that mouse.
So you would always say, hey, let's go do this, right? You'll open your computer, and then every so often you can just walk over and jiggle your mouse, and we'll go do whatever.
Yeah, we're out at your hunting property, at the farm, and you got to go inside and jiggle a little bit to keep that timer running.
Story on behalf of a friend, right? Not me.
Oh, dude, corporate America is such a joke. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Back to so you had the idea, and I've had the idea about leaving, and finally to the point of the regret of not taking action and not doing it outweighed the risk of taking action, doing the thing, right? I think a lot of business owners can relate to that. Like the pain.
Well, it's scary.
Well, it is scary, but finally the pain of like your why and your pain of like, well, if I never took this leap and built that, or if I never left, corporate America, or if I never explored this other product line or tried to do this or tried to scale my business, like finally that pain gets so bad, like in desire, you're like, I got to act on it, because if I never did it, I'll never know if it would have panned out, and that'll kill me for the rest of my life.
Let's talk about AI. So I know AI is new to you. I know that we've had a lot of conversations just about how to use it and ways that you can incorporate it into your business, because, dude, it's here, right? And this shit is not going anywhere. I always tell people this. I've even told my team this, because I'm essentially building an AI company. My soul, like literally my soul, hates AI. And the biggest reason is I know how many jobs it's going to cost. I mean, obviously I don't know the actual number, but man, like, I don't see how it's not going to take 10% of the jobs in this country.
Right.
I really don't. Like, anybody that does any type of cold calling, any customer service agent, there's just, I mean, I keep saying this as well, like, my soul hates it, but my entrepreneur brain goes, there are trillions of dollars that are going to be made in the next 5 to 10 years specifically. How do I capitalize on that? And how do we get more efficient? And what else can we do to get better in my business? And now, as I work through this evolution, it's like I actually am going to build an AI marketing and sales company because I started to see it. And 99.9% of people have no concept of what it can do and how it can work. Most people use it as glorified Google. Right? They're asking it a question like Google, which is fine. You can use it that way. It's actually not as good as Google in that way. It's actually not even close, if I'm being honest. But there's ways in which you can use it where Google's like not even in the conversation, right? The search engine. Obviously, Google has its own AI platform as well. But I'm curious to hear, what have you used it for lately? Have you used it?
I have the app downloaded, ChatGPT.
Look at
and
you
I'm
go.
on the $20 month subscription.
Damn, you even paid.
You
went from
2 months ago, so that
you went from free to pay.
yeah.
Hey, if you need a loan, I can help you. That's $240 a year.
I don't know why I did the $20 subscription. It just sounded good. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get better.
You get a little. I don't know the exact product specifications, but you get a little bit more. We have a team one that like my whole team has like per user. I don't know what the money breakdown is. And then I'm involved in that one with my team because we share a lot through that. And then I also have the $200 a month one for myself, which gives you like the AI agent mode and all the other things. I'll have to show you this.
I was going to say, yeah, that's now you're starting to go AI agent. You're getting a little.
Yeah. Well,
but anyways, I told you about that industrial deal. And I was reviewing, I got all the leases in, and there's like 30-page leases. So I just uploaded a copy of the lease to...
Like the PDF, you dropped it into ChatGPT.
Yep. And then I said, like, I typed in what I was doing. I'm a prospective buyer, review this on my behalf, and I'll be the landlord of this, tenant. And, can you give me a summation of the lease and then tell me some items that I need to watch out for? What's in my favor, what's not in my favor.
Yeah.
And it within like 20 seconds.
That's the magic, right?
It gave me like, all right, here's the rate. When it's up, here's some things that you need to watch out for. Gave me the specific paragraph and like sub-bullet. And then, even at the end, it was like, well, do you want me to put together a chart so you can have it and compare? And then I uploaded more leases to it, and it kind of started building on each other. He goes, well, since I did this in your prior lease, do you want me to create the same chart? So it was pretty cool. Like,
have you played with the memory at all? Like, have you told it to save it to your memory?
No, I don't know. The only thing I did on the side is like starting new chats. Like I also use in my business for like Google reviews. Like it knows, like I just copy and paste the Google review in there in chat, and then it'll come out with a response.
Yeah. So I believe, don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure, because I just have like the premium shit because we eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. Don't quote me on this, but I think at that $20 version one, you actually get a memory.
Okay.
So the free version, when you're using it like Google, even Google remembers things if you're logged into a Gmail account. Yeah. But let's just say you're not logged in and you just go into a library and use Google. It doesn't remember, who you are.
Okay.
I believe on the free version of ChatGPT, it doesn't remember anything. However, when you get to the paid version, again, I don't know what level, I'm not for sure, but I will actually tell it anything that's like vital to me, any of my companies. I will say, save this to your memory, and it'll pop up and say memory saved.
So you're the agents. You're kind of building your own profile as you.
Yes. So like my ChatGPT account right now, my personal one that I use, man, it knows exactly how I talk. It knows, and I've trained it on this. Here's your challenge. Go ask it, what do you know about me? And then we'll ask mine, what do you know about me? And we'll see, because mine is pages of scrolling. Everything from, I have a gluten intolerance, to my kids, how old they are, where they go to school, what their pain points are. I even talk about my marriage in it, like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Like, what do you think? It knows everything about me and my businesses. I have this problem constantly. So when you save that memory, you're not going to have to go take those same prompts back when you upload those other lease contracts. And it's going to remember everything that, you need to say. Thank you. This was extremely helpful. So it knows, and it saves that to the memory like, oh shit, these are the things he's looking for on the next contract. Like, this is the stuff that was important, right? So without that, you have to recycle every time.
Okay. So there's a difference between a new chat and then the agent. So basically your agent.
It's not an agent. This isn't an agent at all.
Okay.
An AI agent, in the most simplistic way, is it's actually an action taker.
Okay.
So I'll give you a quick story about how I use an AI agent recently. So I've never in 14 years had any offshore help, ever.
Okay.
But with the economy where we're at right now, 5 years ago, an entry-level person was costing me $50,000 a year. Now they're like $65,000. So it's like we've had a $15,000 increase in just a few years from what it cost me to get the same level of talent. So anyway, for the first time ever, and I don't know how well it's going to work, I've taken a lot of pride in being a patriot. I've taken a lot of pride in only having American-based workers. And, you know, I call it offshore slave labor. I hate to use that context, especially now that I actually hired a couple. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have my team right here, and they are. My domestic team is all right here as of yesterday. My first 2 VAs started. But here's an example of how an AI agent works. And I actually did this in ChatGPT. So onlinejobs.ph is like the Indeed of the Philippines.
I've used them
Okay.
before.
Okay, so I went on there, I set up a couple job descriptions and profiles, and then we had the applicants come through, right? So I went into my Chat GPT and went into agent mode. So in the bottom of like the search bar where you put in the question, there's these, I don't know what it is, like a plus symbol or something. And I don't know if you get this on the $20 version or not, but you can click on it and it'll pop up agent mode.
Okay.
So I went into agent mode and it pops up this little screen and it's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, go into my onlinejobs.ph account and go review the candidates for these 2 positions.
Wow.
And bring me the top 3 candidates for each position with a full justification as to why.
Wow.
And there's reviews of the candidates on the website. Like it's a little more in depth than Indeed is. So you literally see it and it'll pop up and it'll say, I need your onlinejobs.ph login credentials. So I give it the login credentials and it literally pulls up a window within ChatGPT and you can see it working. I can see it logging in. It's like a person is scrolling through these things and it's reading all these resumes and it's taking notes and it's like going to the next resume and it's scanning it and it's building this. So like 35 minutes later, it takes a while. I walked away and I got an alert on my phone because my phone and my desktop are synced and it was like, this is done. And I went back and it had the top 3 candidates for the 2 positions. And guess what? I hired 1 of the 3 for each role.
Wow. So did you have to prompt, like, here's the criteria I want you to look at on these resumes? Or did you just, I don't know if you can be as vague as, like, give me the best candidates. Well, because they say the best doesn't mean you think it's the best.
Yeah, so you do. I've even tried to talk to you about this. Like, prompting is everything, right? Now, prompting is, to me, there's like entry level, and then getting good at prompting is a little bit above that. Then there's a whole nother world beyond this. But prompting is everything. I always say this: trash input equals trash output. So in a marketing world, write me a 400-word blog about plumbing in St. Louis. That's a shit-ass input. You're going to get a shit-ass output. Different prompt. Act as though you're a copywriter of 25 years that's only focused on copywriting for home services, specifically plumbing companies. Understand that the target keyword of the blog is this, that needs to be at a 1 to 2% ratio within the copy. Bullet points are highly suggestible for breakdown line items. You know, you go through this whole entire thing of a prompt and you tell it to act as though that it's somebody else. And I'll be honest, the output on some of those things don't work, which is I've had to build the machines that I did. But even if you just said, act as though you're a 25-year copywriter focused on the home services and write this, you know, for a plumbing company, that output compared to the output of write me a blog for a plumber, dude, it's not even comparable just by the prompt. Now you take that prompting and you build out AI agents that think and work for you. Like the example I gave you, they go do the research, they go study the other websites, they find credible statistics, and then they incorporate that into the blog and the parameters that you're looking for. Again, good input, good output, trash input, trash output. And that's how people that are hating on AI, they're giving it trash inputs and getting trash outputs. They're like, this shit sucks. That blog was horrible. Like, I could have wrote that better. I don't even know how to write. Well, yeah, it is. And even with prompting, it still can't check off the boxes. Dude, AI can't count. It's the craziest thing ever. If you say, write me an article 400 or 500 words long, you'll get some that are 315, some that are 716. I'm like, dude, you're like the smartest machine on earth. You can't count.
Smartest, dumbest machine.
I give you a range, right? Yeah. And I can't count. So, yeah, dude, it's that's the power of like AI agents in general. And you can build these things to do custom things, which is a lot of the marketing and sales agents that I'm building right now. This is what they do. So like I'm building AI agents that have what's called an MCP or RAG, the most simplistic human language way to explain
I
it.
have no idea what that means.
It's just a brain, right? So it's like AI, if you say to write a blog about plumbing, and you write it and it just goes and it writes it. An MCP, think of it as like a brain. So you tell it, go write this blog, and it has to go through this brain that is specifically trained, that has parameters, credible websites, blacklist websites, every single thing, the brand Bible of the plumbing company, every single possible thing that you could think about, it lives in this brain. And then the output is based off of this. Instead of it just hallucinating and going doing whatever the hell it wants, it goes through this brain, and this brain is what guides it. And I talk about like keeping it on the tracks. Because AI it doesn't suck. It's an amazing thing, but for marketing tactics, without giving it that brain.
Right, and that's what you're building.
That's what I'm building, right? So everything I'm building, Google Ads, campaign creation, blog creation, pillar pages, location pages, everything has to run through that brain. So that's the difference. I know this shit's getting pretty high level, but people just don't know how to use it.
So would you say that, let's just say you had your 5-year marketing associate that's been doing marketing for 5 years, your junior, mid-level, versus the new AI you're going to build. Would you say your AI can build better content and be a better resource?
That's a really tough question. So I would say right now that's highly subjective, and I'm in testing rounds to try to prove that it can be better than the 5-year copywriter or marketing manager.
Right.
I can tell you this, what I am building is being built in a way that AI detectors cannot detect that it is not human language or human writing it. And AI detectors can kind of be a shit show as well. They're not 100% accurate either. But a lot of the giveaways of broken AI content is broken links, uncredible links. It makes up statistics, hallucinates, M dashes, like all this shit, like all of it's gone. We got all that removed. And a systematic push of the button, again, because the input is just you pushing a button. But, like one of these automations is like 8 different workflows to ultimately post that blog onto your website. So, that's what I'm trying to build. I'm ultimately trying to duplicate the work of a human being. And then at the end of the day, what that means for the client is, we charge, I can't even remember, this is terrible, I own the company, like $250, maybe $300.
Hold them to that.
Yeah. I think it's $250, maybe $300 for a blog. But that comes with us doing the research, coming up with the topic, a copywriter writing it, posting it, doing on-site SEO, internal links, external links, keyword content ratios, all the things. The whole 9 yards, it's a couple hour process for somebody on my team to do, where now I can push a button, and right now we're, I think, like 4 minutes and 20 seconds to get that full output that checks off all those boxes and qualifications. So it's not perfect, but I'm this close.
So you're building it, if someone else could do it, you're building it that's faster and cheaper for what? For your end clients or for just
everybody wins. The most beautiful thing about what I'm building right now is everybody wins.
Okay.
So it's going to cut down my labor costs drastically. So we're going to make more money. We're going to be healthier. We're going to have higher profit margins. And the client is no longer going to pay $250 for a blog. They're going to pay a subscription for this model that they can essentially sit there and push that button a couple times a day if they want to. So, something that would have in the SEO world specifically cost a client $20,000, $25,000 a month, hypothetically, they're going to be able to get that for $2,500. So I think of like smaller businesses, the guys that they can't afford $5,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in a marketing retainer, but they can find a way to swing $2,500, and they're going to get the same output that they would have got 1 year ago for $25,000 for $2,500.
Gotcha.
So everybody wins, and on that $2,500, I don't have a bunch of labor costs involved.
Right.
So like my margins are much higher on that $2,500. They can afford it, so I can get more clients that have smaller budgets, and the client is really winning more than anybody, if I'm being honest. Because they're getting 10, 100 times the product, right, for a fraction of the cost. So they really win at the end of the day.
So you mentioned earlier that, like, what did you call the brain?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to use it. It could be an MCP, it could be RAG,
Okay.
it could be. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways to create that brain.
Yeah, it's going to go out and get data based on certain characteristics that you told it that it needs. Whether because if it's let's just use a plumbing company for example, they're hyper focused on whatever mile radius around their business is their clientele, whether it's a city, a county, or whatever.
Yep.
So you're saying it's going to go out and recognize like what do I need to put in this blog to make
100%.
this plumbing company stand out versus all the other plumbing companies? Like it's going to be, it can pull it real time versus I feel like sometimes if you have a human doing it, like they're bouncing all over the place, but there's just so much information that needs to go into this. Whether there's probably more than just a blog where it needs to get information. Like
Yeah. So again, like that one, we'll call it workflow has. I don't know, it's like 8 to 10 workflows that make that work that are all segmented out. So one workflow just goes and builds a content calendar. So it just goes and finds topics and it generates that list. And then the next workflow that builds outlines pulls from that workflow to generate the content outline. And then the next workflow pulls that outline and actually puts the content together. The next workflow goes out and cites statistics from the brain that we've given it, not just the wild internet world. It's like, hey, like for example, plumbing, like the EPA. If the EPA has statistics out about water and what's in it, that's credible. I want my plumbing client to have a link to the EPA. That's a good website. Now, if it's some dumbass's mommy blog that wants to go on there and talk about how he changed his sink, over the weekend because his wife was pissed about it, I don't want my client linking to that. So again, that brain, that infrastructure gives the credibility to the content because it's not just going to go wild and go do whatever it wants. Yeah, so that is a big piece of it. It's making sure that it's valid, that it's credible. We're not just making shit up. Like, man, we've had clients that'll be like, hey, I wrote this blog on AI. We actually had a medical clinic of all things. Like an actual doctor was like, hey, I use ChatGPT and here's a blog that I put together from it. I would love this post on the website. So, we get the content and we go to put like links in it and make sure that the statistics are credible. It was all bullshit. Like people just blindly trust AI and it's crazy. It's like, dude, you're a doctor and you're putting your name on this thing that's talking about a certain percent of people getting a certain outcome, and it's complete fabricated bullshit. Like, you can't do this. So thankfully, as we were going to cite these things, we found that it was uncredible. We went back to him and he's like, wow, like, I didn't know. It's like, yeah, like you guys are treating this thing like it's like God. It doesn't know everything. So
that's probably what you're going to filter out, some of that stuff. And
you have 100% of it. It's not some of it. It's 100% of it. 100% of it has to be filtered out. It can't just be making shit up as it goes. So in the AI world, we talk about hallucinating. That's when an AI model is hallucinating. It just makes shit up.
I thought that's what you did on the weekend. So
yeah, I do that too, man. I did that too. Well, hey, look, dude, this has been a great first episode. This has went a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
You got my blood pumping a little bit.
I did. All right.
Maybe this will work out for us. Maybe we're onto something here. So, all right, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. And we'll be back soon.
Catch you on the next one.